Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for our esteemed speaker, Dr. Peter Ramsaroop. As the Chief Investment Officer and Agency Head at Guyana Office for Foreign and Local Investments, Peter is a true force to be reckoned with in the business world. With a proven track record of success in both the public and private sectors, including Fortune 500 companies, he is a true business executive. But that's not all. Peter is also a published author with several books to his name, covering topics such as business intelligence, leadership, and thriving in challenging times. Additionally, his military background, including service during the Persian Gulf War, adds yet another layer of expertise to his already impressive resume. Please give a warm welcome to Peter R. Ramsaroop.
So I asked Iris to write me a speech um, for this conference. It says you should start by highlighting the importance of AI in technology world and how Iris aims to revolutionize various industries. Emphasize the benefits of Iris, such as its multilingual capabilities and the ability to provide accurate and updated information about Guyana. Don't forget to mention the team behind Iris and express gratitude to everyone involved in bringing this innovative technology to life. Imagine if every politician had something just like this, the speech would be finished and we will be done. So it's great for AI. But I do want to first thank the especially young generation for stepping up and thinking through Guyana and what Guyana should look like in the next phase of our development. And as you know, we're in a very aggressive, transformative phase, and we cannot let technology leave us behind. AI has been around for decades, decades and decades. And had it gone to the level it is today, a lot of things would have changed. The AI mentioned a book that I wrote called Thriving in the Age of Terror. And as I studied 9/11, why 9/11, what happened? What was interesting, on the morning of 9/11, three calls was made. One to the fire service, one to the president of the United States, and one to the mayor of New York City, that a plane had hit the towers, the Twin Towers. If someone had just called the civil engineering department in the New York City state planning, they would have told you in algorithms that fuel, heated fuel, times steel, times that height, that building would have collapsed in 21 minutes and killed 3,000 plus people. Had AI existed in putting these algorithms together, that would have happened. So now those three calls probably wouldn't be made again. The algorithm of the AI will tell you that in 21 minutes that building will collapse. So over the years and the decades, we all have individually used AI, whether it's in our personal algorithms. You know, I ask myself, what is my URL? What does people see me as? Do I have a firewall? The former speaker talked about the end part of love, right? Do you install someone in your life and it turns bad? Do you call it a virus? How do you uninstall? You may delete it from your app, but you don't uninstall, so it keeps coming back and affect you. So we've got to look at AI from a personal perspective, from a country perspective, and it goes on and on in terms of what could happen. I've been involved in sensor technology. Right now, we have technology sensors where you put in the piles. And as you drive that pile down 120 feet or 160 feet, that sensor in that pile tells you 20 years from now if there's a hairline crack. And will that building, as it happened in Florida, apartment building collapse? I wish in Guyana we would do that. We're under the sea level. So we have sensor technology that tells you that that building or that bridge needs repair. So those are all AI. I'm bringing that to give an example of practicality. A simple thing such as that could make a difference in Guyana in the future. During last Guy Expo, our office displayed about 6 products that we thought was innovative for Guyana. One was pepper pot in a box. Now, why do I think that pepper pot in a box is revolutionary? And what could AI do to that vendor and e-commerce? Thousands of Guyanese in their 20s don't know how to make pepper pot, but they learned that they love pepper pot at Christmas. How could AI help that producer of that pepper pot in the box get it to the millions of Guyanese in Guyana and around the world? That says, you can have pepper pot any time of the year if I can figure out and know that that even existed. There's a nice other one in split peas, cook up, that is in a packet, 2.5 minutes. You've got split peas cook up. Tastes great. There's a guy that created something called coffee wine. And he called it wine. I disagree with it being called a wine. I went to London last week and I ordered a port. Port is an after dinner drink. And when I drink this coffee wine, a little sip of it, it reminds me of a port. So if he can understand, if the artificial intelligence can kind of tie his product to what the market drives, he can be selling coffee port around the world. And so we have to look at the practicality. And government is very, very interested in the whole AI concept. I mean, you hear our president talk about a single window accountability system that we have created. In our office alone, I've get thousands of questions about investments. What are the incentives? Why should I come back to Ghana? What should I invest in? And I want these guys to figure out how to put an AI engine behind that. So my staff don't need to answer those questions anymore. So AI has existed, but it's not existed in an intelligent form. And so we've got to move to that. All over the world now, especially in the developed world, we have the automated cars. It's scary to sit in a Tesla with no driver. And you're sitting there, and this car is driving down the road. And you want to know what happens. There's some mechanism in place. But as we move to the next phase, there are sensors in the traffic lights, there are sensors on the road. So data is the next fuel. And so as we think of artificial intelligence, is you've got to think of what data are you managing and why is that data so important? Imagine if the sensor fails in the traffic light and that sensor doesn't tell my car that the traffic light has failed, I'm going to crash. 95% of an airplane is flown by computers. Did you know that? The airplane will land with a pilot. If you go in the cockpit, you'll be shocked that the pilot is sitting there having coffee and the plane is flying and landing on the busiest airports in the world. So all of that comes into play in what artificial intelligence, what data analytics will do for us in Guyana. Let's be practical. We're behind the power curve even on technology. A lot of businesses don't invest in their technology. They don't invest in e-commerce. They don't invest in cybersecurity. So we get a chance now to jump the curve, moving all the way from where we should have been to where we could be in the private sector and in government. And I believe as you listen to the presentations today, as you look at these young people come up with these new ideas and where it fits, go back to what you do and how do you move that agenda along? How do you make this technology work for you? It's not scary, right? The fact is we absolutely need it. Go back to my 9/11 example. What if today, look at Venezuela, right? You've got multiple scenarios going on, right? Artificial intelligence is doing a good job for us in analyzing, right? Is it a political move? Is there true military movement? As you analyze this data, you now come up with scenarios. in terms of what you need to plan for, right? And so scenarios is another option that the artificial intelligence brings to us. What should I do next in my business, right? Is the data correct? So asking AI to write you a paper is not what AI is all about. A lot of us think that I'm going to write my next assignment, and that's AI. AI is there to take the next level and move your business along. Ultimately, if you're here to make money, you need to be invested in this technology. The analytics component of what is happening across the board. As I mentioned, data is the next fuel. 5 years ago, I created a company called Spation. Spation stands for the gas station in the sky, right? As I mentioned, the data needs to move somewhere, and that data needs to come together. So going back to the sensor, if you would drive down anywhere in Florida, and actually I helped write legislation in Florida to be able to change the way the buildings sensors work. But as you drive down, you see a sign that says slow down. The road is wet. That is not a static sign. There's a sensor on the bottom of the road. So as the rain falls and the water level rises, it tells the sign 2 miles up that the water level is higher than it should be. So you need to slow down individually as a driver to make sure that you don't spin off the road. In the future, we'll be driving these automated cars. Think of where it's happening. I leave you with the fact that make it personal to you. What is it you do today that AI needs to help your business as you as a person? And that is where you will find the answer to what you're hearing. Maybe a lot of technical aspects. You may see things that you may go, wait a minute, we have done that already. But it's the innovation and the direction and where Guyana is going. We're transforming at a rapid pace, as I mentioned. What you see Guyana today, in 5 years, the shock on our face will be there. You wouldn't imagine. I tell people, no matter what my grandparents, my parents, me, or my kids think Guyana should look like, it will. So we got to get on board. We should be proud. We should be excited. We are a society that likes to complain. Nothing wrong with that. But get on board and make sure that you don't lose where Guyana is going. And this is just one example of innovation and young people stepping up and saying, we want to be part of Guyana's development. We want to lead Guyana development. And I believe the world, when they want to invest in the region, will come to Guyana as the lead country. Our president says it best. He said there'd be nowhere in the world where Guyana is not on the table when it comes to energy, when it comes to food security, and come to climate services. So as you think of AI and we think of where technology is going, think of Guyana as a powerhouse. And what they are saying is they want to see Guyana as a powerhouse in AI, and I think we will be a powerhouse in many, many things. And I'm proud to say that we're moving rapidly, and I want all of us, don't, somebody made the statement, don't get left behind. This is not about politics. This is a fact. Guyana is on the move, it's on the rise. This is one phase that we embrace as government, and we'll continue to embrace it. But as individuals, know your URL, know your firewall, know where your data needs to go, right? So when somebody analyzes you, in the intelligence world, we can tell a trend. We found the bomber in Boston very quickly. The reason why, through facial recognition, through movement, through certain things dealing with the backpack, the slight movement, all that will happen. We're putting cameras around Guyana. We will be able to solve crime quicker. These are all facial recognition. The other day, I got a message from a source within government that says, my driver was speeding on the back road. going at 120 miles an hour in a 60 mile zone. So we're getting there. And that data driven. So if we want to reduce traffic accidents, those are the type of initiatives that is happening right in front of our eyes. So pay attention, get on board. It's an exciting, and I congratulate the founders of this. And any help you need on the government side, I can tell you we're ready and willing to play, be and be part of it. Thank you very much.